All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sarah Kurzel. I'm an 8th grade algebra teacher at Cupertino Middle School. And I'm here tonight to share with you a performance task that is a 6th grade level task. Our goal is to have you experience a performance task that is like the type of question that your child may see as part of a much bigger assessment. So you heard in the presentation that the new assessments will have some questions like we're used to in the STAR, and then we'll have new performance tests that ask a little bit more of them in terms of thinking and combining skills. I will say before we get started that our goal today is to have a discussion and to experience a task and to really focus on what that task is like, especially for a 6th grader. Let's get started without further ado. Tonight we're going to experience the 6th grade performance task, which is about a field trip. And I'm going to read the actual task, and then I'm going to let you get started. And one of the most important things that we have our students do is have some independent think time. So I'm going to have everybody work independently for about 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to talk in small groups about what we've discovered so far, and then have a whole group discussion about your thoughts about the experience. Keep in mind that if this was a classroom setting, this would be more of a teachable setting where we're kind of interacting with each other and the students are talking to one another. If this was an assessment setting, they would be doing this individually. So we're going to operate under a classroom teachable setting today. All right, so here's the task. So now that everybody has had some independent think time, some time to kind of create your own understanding around the problem, we're going to share a little bit with each other. So we're going to do a pair share. And a pair share, you're going to work with your table partner. So everybody in the classroom is sitting next to somebody at a table, and you're going to discuss with each other what you found out or what you kind of decided to be your conclusion to the questions that you were able to tackle. And then you're going to compare your answers and talk about the reasoning behind the work that you did. All right, we have 2 people, or actually 3 people. I'm going to ask them. All right, good. I had a chance to interact with a few groups, and I was hearing some good discussion and some debate. Some groups are not in total agreement about where we should take our field trip. And so I wanted to kind of pull it in, and I know some people didn't get a chance to really look at costs. Some managed to get all the way to looking at the price. But I wanted to kind of talk about your findings as a whole group. Let's just take a quick straw poll. How many people think that we should take our field trip to the aquarium? Raise your hand. I see 4 people to the aquarium, 5 people to the aquarium. All right, thank you. This is just informal. This is based on your findings in the task. How many people think we should go to the Science Museum? 4, 5, 6. Good. So 6 folks. And how many people think we should go to the zoo? Okay, so this is the majority that believes we should go to the zoo. All right, so I'm curious, since zoo is the majority opinion right now, who wants to share with the class or our group why you think we should go to the zoo? What's your reasoning? Yes?
Well, we looked at zoo, aquarium, and third one as well. Sorry, Science Museum.
Absolutely.
So zoo was number 1 as first criteria, but aquarium was number 1 as overall votes.
Oh, okay.
And then the Science Museum was in the middle. It had large number of votes than the zoo, but it was, if you count first and second choice, not as high as aquarium. When you look at the cost per person between aquarium and the Science Museum are $5.33, and the zoo is half of that exactly, which means it's a school district, so they will probably go in for the least possible, and the parents also would like to pay the least. But at the end, I think if you factor in the popularity plus the costs, both kind of.
So you think even though the zoo is not the cheapest, because it's the most popular first choice, that's what I'm hearing, that you think that...
Well, the zoo is cheapest. Zoo is cheapest as well.
Did everybody get that the zoo was the cheapest? No, I'm hearing yes, no.
I didn't get that far, so I don't know.
So, I did my homework ahead of time, and I calculated, and I actually get that...
Yeah, it is cheapest.
I get the Science Museum as the cheapest. What? So I think we have another debate. Why do you think some of us are calculating that the zoo is the cheapest. I actually gave this hint to a group. And some of us are calculating that the Science Museum is the cheapest. Yes? One way. Excellent. So here's the thing. When we calculate cost, do we have to consider a round trip? Yes. We do. We have to consider the round trip. And because... And I'll wait. Everybody's excited about this. The controversy. You never knew math could be so exciting. Because, what was it? The zoo is actually much farther away than the Science Museum. And if you calculate the mileage round trip, the zoo becomes more expensive than the Science Museum. And so you can see there's really more than meets the eye here in terms of what we're asking the students to do. Part of what we are wanting to have everyone experience is the multiple pathways that students are going to take when they attack a problem like this. And the fact that even though there may be some calculation mistakes, like missing the round trip factor, students who can justify their reasoning based on maybe slightly faulty mathematics are still going to earn not full credit, but points on this type of task. And the companies who create these tests do a lot of calibration and they do a lot of testing. And so one of the things that they're always calibrating is the rubric. Does the rubric stand up to all of the possibilities that a student might choose? So if you take a look at the rubric on the back, this is the scoring guide. It's on the very back page. And there are better answers than others, but if you look very carefully at the very first question, scoreable parts. The first question was, based on your results for the class votes, where would you recommend the class go on the field trip? Show your work and explain how you find your answer. Now, they highlight in the point section 2 pretty good answers. One is the zoo. A lot of people had this option because it was the first best choice. Right? It received the most votes, and this is on the back side, the back page of your packet. Okay, I think it was 8 votes. Then they say that full credit for correctly answering zoo based on total first place votes, or correctly answering aquarium based on total first and second place votes, or correctly answering Science Museum based on weighted total for votes. Now, Science Museum wasn't very popular, but conceivably, a student could do some weighting and decide that the Science Museum had a balanced vote tally and maybe give more weight to the first place votes and so on. And then it says, accept other valid responses. This is a challenge, but it's something that we're really working on with the students to understand that there are choices that we need to make based on our analysis of the math. And our choice from person to person won't always be the same because of the approach we take. And what's very important here is that a student can back up their choice with some reasoning, okay?